Well, first up tonight, industries are upbeat about the reversal of the policy on benchmark values for some imported goods, which took effect today. The policy was to help reduce the cost of import duty on those selected items. But the Association of Ghana Industry says this new directive will drive employment creation by manufacturing industries, as well as put them on a sound footing. Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the AGI, Chonam Akpelo, has also been reacting to concerns by the Ghana Union of Traders Association that consumers will be negatively impacted by government's directive.
It is important to clarify that what we're asking for is a specific review of a policy. Mind you, before this policy was introduced, there was a regime. What is happening from today is that we're just going back to that regime. So nothing new necessarily is happening. We're just going back to a regime. When the 50% benchmark value was introduced, market women did not reduce the price of goods and services. The benefit actually went to the importers. So what is going to happen now is that those importers may suffer as a result. And we all, as Ghanaians, buy from the same market anyway. But it is important to make the point that for any society to develop, we need to grow industries. We need to expand industries. We understand that it is easier and cheaper to import finished products. But why do you want to make your country a dumping good for finished products? We need to begin to produce in order to develop and employ more people, as it were.
I agree with you on that point that we can't continue importing stuff. Well, Guta, in that interview, said it was willing to engage with government and the AGI to see if there can be a compromise. Is the AGI looking forward to this engagement, and what sort of compromise can be reached at this point?
Well, we actually have a continuous engagement with government on these matters. These are continuing processes. So we look forward to continue to engage government. The window I see is that we are asking for those products that are manufactured locally that we can supply the country. Those products should be protected. It is only proper everywhere you go in the world. Once the country developed, productive capabilities, like cables, we produce cables in Ghana. This day we produce sanitary pads, even rice. We have rice and so on. We need to be able to protect our people and create more jobs for our people. So that's what we are asking for. We're not asking for wholesale implementation of policy. So if you don't produce something in Ghana, it makes sense that they receive rebates and discounts. But if we have the capability to produce in Ghana, we have to make sure that we patronize what is made in Ghana to develop our own economy. That's what we're asking for.
Now, it may take up to 5 years before the practical gains of the Continental Free Trade Agreement are realized. That's according to Executive Director of the Africa Center for International Trade and Development, Isaac Hubert Arthur. Now, countries are far behind following the implementation of the trade deal a year ago. The slow start is largely blamed on the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Arthur earlier spoke to me about the other challenges member countries are grappling with.
So, there has been the issue of, for instance, there's the issue of infrastructure that needs to be put in place. Countries, for us to be able to have a continental single market comparable to that of the EU, you need to have certain infrastructure in place, which enables, even the transportation of goods, the movement of people to be very less stressful, than it is. You can tell me if I'm traveling to any part of Africa, sometimes I have to go to Asia before I get to Africa. If you move goods from Ghana to Nigeria, it may probably pass through Europe before it gets to Nigeria. This is not, a good system where it will fast track and help the speedy implementation of the AFCFTA. So that needs to be fixed. So infrastructure is key. We need to focus on how we can make, travel within the African continent less problematic than it is now. And, to achieve that is not an easy task. A lot of, initiatives needs to be put in place. A lot of, certain laws, agreements also needs to be signed, which will help in airlines must come together to understand the importance of the AFCFTA and what in their own way as an industry they can do to support the implementation of the AFCFTA, beyond even the infrastructure, okay, which is a lot. I mean, I can't exhaust all. There's also the issue of the maritime, sector that we may have to talk about. There's the issue of the road transportation, even within ECOWAS. Look at how it is very problematic when you're moving within ECOWAS. You see, so all these things need to be fixed. But then there are also other initiatives, other products, both financial and then also trade facilitation that needs to be put in place. Okay, and I'm happy within this 1 year. I mean, we've seen a number of positive news coming up. We have seen the introduction of the Pan-African Payment Settlement System, which is a platform that is going to help, the continent to make payment easy. We have so many currencies, and trading under one block with different currencies is also problematic. It makes it more difficult when you still have, a currency like the US dollar dominating in Africa. You see, it doesn't help and doesn't support even in achieving of the AFCFTA objectives. So we need to put in place that.
Well, meanwhile, Head of Strategic Communications at the Ghana's Coordination Office for AFTA, Catherine Afeko, is urging traders on the continent to take keen interest in the deal and support its implementation. The Foreign Minister of Tourism also disclosed that more than half of AU countries have ratified the deal, giving it significant push for the continent.
Your market is now all of a sudden not for the 16 regions in Ghana, but for 1.2 billion people. So the essence of AFTA is really to engineer, so to speak, Africans to trade amongst themselves. Now, that doesn't mean that we are not trading with our external partners, but we are focusing on trading amongst ourselves. And the statistics are there to support. If you look at trade amongst intra-African trade, it's very, very low. But we trade more with Asia, with Europe, the Americas, than ourselves. And there are reasons why it hasn't been as robust as you would expect. There are a lot of impediments. So AFTA comes in at the right time to set up a framework that there is a permanent secretariat. It's set up in Ghana. 54 African countries, ratification is ongoing, but over half have already ratified, signed the protocols, and now, officially, January 2021, trade began. So I think it's a new epoch for Africa. We've had the 60s independence struggle. You have a lot of euphoria. Countries are liberating politically. Now we're doing the economic freedom. So that is really the essence. For me, if you ask, what is it? You have to look back. Those who were born that time will tell you with nostalgia when Africa was coming out of colonial yoke. Now, those of us now will also talk a generation later. It will be in history books that the time African people decided to do the economic liberation. That was the time. That's what it's intra-African.
Well, away from AFTA, Guba Enterprise, a social enterprise, has revealed that there is an ongoing dialogue with government to facilitate the establishment of businesses of Ghanaians in the diaspora. According to its president, Denta Amwateng, the country can make good use of human resources in the diaspora. However, she emphasizes that government needs to provide a thriving business environment for them to return to the country. Mrs. Amwateng spoke to Joy Business after a meeting dubbed Diaspora Conversations. The Diaspora Transition Network is a membership-based network for African diasporans and returnees of various heritage currently residing in Ghana. The aim of the network is to provide assistance on all business and relocation issues facing diasporans. This will help provide solutions and promote the businesses of members to other diasporans. Speaking at this year's Diaspora Conversations, president of Guba Enterprise, Denta Amwate, disclosed that their outfit is partnering with government to provide a booming business environment for diasporans.
We believe that the diasporans can make a lot of change in Ghana with the skill set that they are bringing. As I mentioned, that you look, China was built by the diasporans. And so if you look at how China is and the economy and how they've been able to develop, I feel that Ghana has that opportunity. We've had all the right people at the event today. All of them want to get the information out because we don't know where that information is. Sometimes you go on the website and you don't get it. And so we want to be that network where you come, when you register with us, you can have those information at your fingertips and be able to drive what you want to do in the country.
Chief Actuary for SNIT, Joseph Poku, pledged his outfit's commitment to support diasporan businesses in Ghana, provided they go through the necessary processes.
For those in the diaspora, they'll come into the same scene. They need to register at first in person. I mean, if we are workers, but once you come here, and you establish a business here. First, you register the business, and once you get the business registered, before you can do any other thing with your business, the law says you should register your company, the business with SNIT and the workers in the business. So if you employ 1 or 2 people, you need to register them so that we guarantee their future benefits when they go on retirement.
Meanwhile, the acting executive secretary of the Lands Commission, James Dodson, has urged diasporans to visit the premises of the commission to inquire and purchase lands without any hiccups. This, he believes, will reduce the rate at which diasporans are defrauded in the country.
There are certain processes that we have to go through as far as virtually every human activity is concerned, and land is no exception. You want to buy land. Of course, in Ghana, as they say, every land has an owner. And so you would have to inquire from the Lands Commission what the records say regarding that particular land that you want to buy. You see, I always say that if you have a headache, you're thinking of going to the pharmacy shop. Okay, so if you want to go buy land, you have to go to the area where land is registered. And I said earlier on in my presentation that we have a monopoly over land registration. So all the recorded land transactions are at the Lands Commission. So you will go there and get the right information that you need. It will help you and guide you as to who you are to deal with.
You're watching Business Live. Ahead in the bulletin, we could see the first industrial action for the year 2022 as teachers and educational workers demand immediate payment of continuous professional development allowance owed them by government.
All our members, both in the schools and in the district and regional offices, are going to withdraw our services until an amicable settlement of this matter is reached.
And welcome back to Business Live. We want to turn to one of our top stories tonight. The Teachers and Educational Workers Union, TEWU, is demanding the immediate payment of continuous professional development allowance owed it by government. Government in 2020 announced the approval of the CPD allowance for both teaching and non-teaching staff of the Ghana Education Service, but TEWU has described as discrimination government's refusal to pay them their share. Addressing the media here in Accra, General Secretary Mark Denchira Kranche said the union will embark on an industrial action tomorrow, the 5th of January, if government does not respond in due time.
If by the close of the year 2021, the continuous professional development allowance is not paid to the non-teaching staff of the Ghana Education Service, then as schools reopen for the last phase of the second semester of the 2020-2021 academic year, our members will withdraw their services to push home our demand for the payment of this continuous professional development allowance. We wish to inform the government and its agencies, parents, and the Ghanaian public that as schools reopen tomorrow, 5th January 2022, they should not expect any of the non-teaching staff to be at post to render service. These would include, but not limited to, the domestic basers, matrons, cooks, pantry hands, laborers, cleaners, administrators, accountants, logistics and supply officers, internal auditors, etc., etc. It is said that to be forewarned is to be forearmed. We, the leadership of TEU, have so resolved that come tomorrow, when schools reopen, all our members, and I repeat, all our members, both in the schools and in the district and regional offices, are going to withdraw our services until an amicable settlement of this matter is reached.
When the boss is on the way, we gonna roll it over them, we gonna roll you.
And we'll see how that plays out. That could be the first industrial action for the year 2022. Now, switching stories, farmers in the northern district of the Volta region have been equipped with modern skills in rice farming and production. The training, initiated by the Chinese Geo-Engineering Corporation and Roland Rice Limited, is aimed at equipping them with relevant ways of improving their yield. Correspondent Ivy Setoji has more.
China Geo-Engineering Corporation has organized training for rice farmers in the Northern District. The farmers, drawn from different parts of the district, were asked to see rice farming as a serious business and also learn more of modernized ways in rice production. Managing Director of China Geo-Engineering Corporation, Eric Yang, said the company started the farming part of the corporation some 10 years ago and has local content as a priority. He also noted that with the use of solar panels, farming has become more easier for the farmers.
So the whole idea is to provide stable and cheap and reliable water source for irrigation, and to relieve farmers from the heavy burden of electricity and also the challenges of unsustainable water supply. Then we also provide them with training, with technology. Of course, later maybe there will be new partners joining us, like people in agri, like fertilizers, like seeding, maybe agri equipment. So we welcome people all to join us, because we think, Ghana, there's no reason we think you cannot do good agricultural production.
Project coordinator of the program, Emmanuel Bonsu, noted that most of the farmers use traditional methods, which does not bring enough yield, hence the need to organize the training for the farmers on the use of modern methods.
We realized that most of them were using traditional methods, and the traditional methods were not bringing out much yield, or the output was less. So we thought it wise that why not create an environment that will help the farmers be able to have more knowledge about the work that they are into.
The facilitator for the training, Jesse Roland Pra, CEO of Roland Rice, said the training was aimed at equipping farmers on best modern practices.
So, looking at the aspect of training and the Aveime rice field, I give them about 3 to 5 years. It will be one of the top in Ghana. Based upon my interaction with the farmers, you could see they've done rice farming for long, and they have accepted to use the modernized way in rice production. And with these varieties that they'll be producing, to give them more yield, of which they will be able to compete in the market, and they will get the quality machines that will also process the rice, because the finishing is the most important thing in rice production.
Edward is the marketing manager for the China Geo Corporation.
Instead of introducing something separate, we try to connect every element in this project so that it makes sense and it integrates as one. So for example, we have the solar power. we have the pump station, we have the rice field, we have the fish ponds. So how to connect them together? So we use the solar to power the pumps, and the pumped water will be used to irrigate the rice fields as well as for the fish farming. So that's just one angle of our project.
Osborne Divine Fenu is the DC for North Tongue.
They have told us that they are supporting the farmers at the IDA, especially with the construction of this solar panel to help them, at least in terms of electricity costs. It's an area we want to also explore more, so that most other farmers could also benefit, if not really the IDA people.
Ivy Satoji for Joy News.
And that's Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com. Goodbye.